Hello, I thought I'd treat you to a pickups video. There's a shit loads of stuff. I'll try not to make it last too long. Most of it I can just sort of skim right through because it's sort of slightly irrelevant. It's just, yeah, well, it's sort of a bit irrelevant, but I've felt the need to share it anyway. Other stuff, it's a bit more interesting, a bit more sort of important, I suppose you could say. But yeah, there's a lot of it. But the first few bits should shouldn't take too long if I shut up now. Hold that thought. Sorry, I just need to get myself a drink because I could feel my throat drying up or mouth drying up straight away. So that's not a good start. So I've got me a ooh look. That's it. I've noticed if just the slight increments make it look even whiter. So if I move it slightly further away, you see the light changing. And this one's just as a got a shade around it. Literally, they're right next to me. It's gone dark now. That wasn't intended. Oh, knob. Ooh, right. Well, yeah. I thought I wanted to show these because I've mentioned these in the past. These are these things that you get from Pound World, specifically Pound World. Surprisingly, they're £1 each. Get a pack of 5. There you go, pack of 5. What are they called? What are they called? Peel and seal board envelopes, and you see they're sort of perforated, sort of generally like DVD size. So they're great for sending sort of DVD style packages, and obviously £1 you get 5. And they're really good. And I thought I'd get a load of these. So I want to sell on some stuff. I might try them with PS1 games as well, like standard PS1 cases, because obviously the doubles won't go in there, and maybe the singles will go in there. But if you put a DVD case in there with a bit of bubble wrap, you can send it cheap post. But I just want to show you those because they excite me. Right, just a couple of CDs. The first one came with sort of like a little batch that I bought in a charity shop. There's a couple of replacement cases that were only 49p, so I got 3. I got the best 3, the ones that weren't damaged, and there was a CD in this little discount tray thing. I thought I can remember that album being supposed to be okay, and it was an album I bought my sister one Christmas and forgot to copy it put it on my iTunes, so I got it for myself, and it's called the band are New Young Pony Club, and it's called Fantastic Playroom, and they were sort of part of this some sound called New Rave from a few years ago. I think it was about 2007. Compared, I think they sound like a bit like the Ting Tings, but a bit like they're a bit posy. You might know a song called Ice Cream. It's got a really good bass line. They're a bit sort of electro funk, but I've read them compared to LCD Sound System and the Rapture, and that's bloody hell. That's okay in my book, but they're nowhere near as good. But I thought I'd try them out, and the album's was okay. But apparently there's a follow-up from 2010, which is supposed to be better. But sorry, I was lobbing them down on the floor. This one won't get lobbed because this is great. It's brilliant. This band I saw last year. It's So Long to See You Tomorrow by Bombay Bicycle Club. This is a brilliant album. It's an excellent album. All of the songs will be on YouTube if you want to check them out. Yeah, it's just something really different about them. It's sort of unexpected. I suppose they come under the sort of the indie pop sort of umbrella, but they're just really unexpected. I mean, every so often their music's quite sort of delicate, but epic at the same time. There's lots of layers of sounds and things. They've got a really good ear for melody. The lead singer's got a really distinctive voice, very sort of, again, quite delicate and broken and crumbly, but somehow really fits the music, and it's very, very distinctive. And like I said, they're really good at offering something up unexpected, but making it sound normal. Like there's one tune, what's it called? Carry Me, is it Carry Me? Carry Me, I think it's Carry Me. It starts off with this just quite odd, almost discordant, like Bhangra Bollywood melody, really harsh sounding like horn. But it just kicks in, just makes perfect sense after that. But some brilliant tunes on here, and they're great live. If you ever get an opportunity to see them live, go and see them live. They're brilliant. This is the only album of theirs I've got. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know them before I saw them live last year. And I'm just a total convert. I really need to find somewhere better to put all my stuff. But at the moment, yeah. Right, these next 5 DVDs, a couple of cheapos, because there's a charity shop near me that always has a tray outside in the street. Everything in there is 50p. That's right. Dry mouth already, Jesus. Sorry, that's just a little impression of Jabba the Hutt. Ah. Ah. Sorry. Yeah, actually, this is the only one from this. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow by Jackie Chan. I like these early Jackie Chan films. You know, just thought that before he was famous, just really early kung fu films. But so it's 50p, and I mean, they had I wanted Project A. They had Project A 2. But, for some reason, they had Project A, but it was inside, and it was £2. For some reason, if it's inside on their shelves, it's £2. But yeah, they're all from charity shops. First three, including first three, which is including Jackie Chan film, I've not seen. There's another one by a really good new director called Ben Wheatley. He made Kill List, A Field in England, Sightseers. He directed an episode of Doctor Who. Something driving past my house, sorry. He directed an episode of Doctor Who in the last series, a Peter Capaldi episode. And this is pretty much his debut, I think. It's supposed to be really good. It's been on telly a few times, but I've never seen it. I just really wanted to give it a crack. Another film I've wanted to have a go at is Looper. I think it's supposed to be really good. The reviews are really good. But I can imagine it's probably a little bit of a divisive film. Probably the sort of film that a lot of people won't like. Just purely because it's got Bruce Willis in it. And it's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt trying to play Bruce Willis, which is a little bit weird, but I think I like all that sort of a paradoxical time travel type films. So those are the 3 I've seen. Haven't seen, sorry. This one I have seen. This is really good. I saw this recently on telly. Totally took me by surprise. It's called Killing Them Softly. Sorry. It's sort of a film about quite sad, pathetic gangsters. There's some like properly half-assed criminals decide to do over a mob card game, and obviously they're not going to let that lie, are they? So they draft in Brad Pitt, who's like the fixer, sorts people out sort of thing. Actually, I've got the window open or the curtains open, and I can see all the cars going past. It's really distracting because it's sort of rush hour. Just cars whizzing past, and I'm just going because you might notice from my videos I get distracted easily, but Killing Them Softly, yeah. It's a really snappy dialogue, really beautifully shot. Some really distinctive scenes, a lot of sort of slow motion, really slow motion scenes. It's really quite sort of captivating, but really recommend this. I generally don't like Brad Pitt. It irritates me, but he was sort of playing it down. He wasn't playing Brad Pitt, he was playing it was controlled Brad Pitt, which I sort of appreciated. Actually, he was, I suppose, could you call him the villain? I suppose they're all villains, but could sort of call him the villain. But he came across as quite sort of sympathetic, quite human, which is what that film does really well. It sort of humanises all these sort of villains, all these criminals, all these gangsters. Really violent in places, but highly recommended. And one of the best action films ever made is Mad Max 2. One of my favourite action films ever. One of my favourite films ever, right up there as one of my favourite films. I think as far as proper raw stunt work goes, it's incomparable. It came from a time in Australian filmmaking, I think. So I'm talking away from the camera. My mic. See a little tip on my mic there? Came from a time in Australian filmmaking. I think there was sort of a lot of freedom. I can't remember why. Something particular, like there was like tax breaks and stuff. But and so there was it was really beneficial. Just for there was lots of a lot of experimentation going on. I think the Australian government tried to sort of really sort of push it forward and give them lots of sort of benefits to get a lot done. And this is probably the most famous film to come out of that period, I think, or the Mad Max films anyway, because there's a really good documentary about that time called "It's Not Quite Hollywood," about the Australian film industry at the time, and it's just this is the most famous sort of film, like I said. A lot of them very similar, lots of car chases with muscle cars, things like that, which obviously there's a lot of that in this. Lots of really raw stunt work, and this has just got this in bucket loads. There's just so many stunts in this, and you think that's got to hurt. You know, there's no way that stuntman didn't come out of that, walk out of that like easily. You know, like there's that one where the guy's on the trike and he hits that. He hits something, crashes into something, just gets bucked off his trike or his sidecar, isn't it? Yeah, and just goes cartwheeling through the air. That's so impressive. But I don't hold out much hope for that new Mad Max film. It looks like a sort of a reimagining of this film. This is the best of the three. But I even like number three. Number three is a bit like the Mad Max version of Return of the Jedi, a bit sort of family friendly, but still pretty good, worth it. Well, those are 5 DVDs. Shove them down there. I keep turning away from the mic. I've got to watch that. I'll move it around there slightly. I don't know why I've shown. There's no reason to show these. It's basically 7 PS1 cases, PS1 games that I got for replacement cases. The first one was a bit stupid. This one came with another batch of 3, so it would have been 4 in total. But this was the only one was a little bit different because they're all standards. This is the only one that was one of the different types of cases, because those are the ones I always try to go for if I see them, for around about 50p, because you know the normal bog standard PS1 cases are 10 a penny, and this is the only one. You know, I thought, yeah, I love that, but then totally didn't notice all the cracks in the case. I don't think even the back is crack free, or maybe it is. It's always the fronts. Fronts always go first, but the game's irrelevant. Adidas Power Soccer, but not that I'm going to use the case now because it's cracked. But so this is a totally obsolete object. So yeah, I'll probably keep it. Just have a go, have a game, see how that game's aged. I'm sure I have played it. These next 6 are all for cases. I've got the top one's all right. Nothing in particular interesting. You know, Medal of Honor and Medal of Honor Underground is a Rapid Racer, or Pro Evo. But weirdly, I think Pro Evo and Pro Evo 2 are relatively collectible. You know, you could pay about £5 for one of these on eBay, especially the second one. I think it's Pro Evo 2. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, I'm sure they're slightly collectible, not majorly, obviously, but people would pay more than just the standard sports game amount for them. But there you go. Those are all for the replacement cases, apart from this one, obviously, which is a bit of a dud. Because I was careless, and this was for replacement cases as well. Because I bought a couple of other games I needed replacement cases for. This was just Medal of Honor. This is the shitty case, and this one sort of is this case is actually, or the case that came in this game. There it goes. The case that came with this game is in another game that I bought from Amazon. It was supposed to be brand new. But that so-called brand new game came in this case. You can see it's all weird and ripply. Can you see it? And the game that this case came in, supposed to be brand new, supposed to be brand new sealed, but it's resealed, and I got a discount, which I'll get to later. But I just want to keep this around to say that ain't brand new, is it? Would you be happy with that, to get that as a brand new game? It's one of the it's one of the newer cases. Right, that's all the irrelevant stuff. Slightly more interesting bits. This first one, it's a game that this was in a charity shop. This was in some sort of came with a load of those PS1 games actually. They were in a 2 for £1 like tray in a British Heart Foundation somewhere, and I got three again. Got three, and they had this in there as well. So this is obviously only 50p. And it's a game that I've heard is supposed to be pretty good, and it was on my list. But it's one of those sorts of games that falls into the bracket of I'd like to play it, but I don't want to pay too much for it. And I don't have too many superhero games. And like I said, I love the film actually. The film's brilliant. Spider-Man 2. But I've heard the game's pretty good as well. So I've always wanted to give it a go. But like I said, didn't want to pay too much for it. From here on, a few stories. Actually, no, that's one. Don't really know what to do this. Football Manager 2014. It's £1, but they actually charged me 75 or 80p for it. Actually, 80p. It was in an offer, but I didn't want the other half of the offer, so they let me have it for 80p. I've only got a Mac now, and it's supposedly compatible with Macs. Yeah, Mac compatible. There you go. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it because it will run on my computer. I'm pretty certain. But all the manager games I've played since I was just massively into Championship Manager 2000, 2001, that season. Just played probably my most played game in terms of hours. What I've played since has never really compared. I don't know why, in terms of sort of like a player roster, just depth of players to scout. I've played a few versions since, and they've all been a bit disappointing. But if I open this up, it's a one and only, it's a one chance only sort of game. You know, tempted to trade it in because it's about £4 in CEX. And I still need a bit more credit to go towards my Twilight Princess fund. But yeah, I'm undecided about that one. Right, these next three. I went into a charity shop a while back, a few weeks ago, and it wasn't that late in the day. It was about 2:30, and the woman in there was really chatty, really friendly, and she sort of said hello as I walked in, and sort of started chatting as I was looking at the games, and you know. Sort of when people are nice and sort of chatty, it's slightly disarming, makes me a bit more malleable. You know, it's more difficult to say no. And I had sort of three games that I was a bit like indifferent about, but some sort of games I would like to play at the right price, like Spider-Man 2. And I'd bought a game from there in the past. It was only £1. It said DVDs £1. I thought if these are £1, I'll have them. I took them over to the woman. Said, "Excuse me, how much are these?" And she went, "I think they're £2." I went, "Oh shit!" In my head, I thought, right, excuse, because she's a nice woman. I'm going to have to come up with a proper excuse rather than say, "Sorry, I'll leave it." So, so I'm going to have to leave one of them then because I need £1 for the bus, which I didn't. I didn't need £1, but that was my excuse. And she went, "Oh, go on then. You have that one for free then." So. She gave it to me for free. The free one was this. I won't show the front. It's It's the replacement case. That's the replacement case. But this is the free one. It's Ninja Assault. I'm not too bothered about that. It was a game I remember playing in the arcades. Two that I was more bothered about. This is a weird one. You go, what the hell? The Dog's Life. This was in a Eurogame article about hidden gems. And it's supposed to be. I always assumed it was one of these sort of Nintendogs type games, like a sort of Tamagotchi, breed look after your dog, sort of don't let it die sort of thing, and play with your dog. But no, you actually control the dog, and it's got a really good sense of humour. There's lots of toilet humour. You can go do dog stuff, just run around being a dog basically. And it's supposed to have a certain amount of novel charm to it. So I've always wanted to give it a crack, and I know a few people have mentioned it in the past. sure it's been mentioned on other hidden gems lists. So it's Dog's Life. So really, I ended up paying £4 for the 3. So we both got away. I got the free. What she said was the free game. She ended up paying. She ended up. I wasn't gonna. I wanted to pay £3. I ended up paying 4. So we both won in a way, I suppose. Or maybe not. And this is the third one. It's probably the one slightly more interesting. Gungrave Overdose. I think it's a sequel to Gungrave, obviously. I think it's based on an anime. I don't really know the anime. It's about this dude here. He's some sort of demon hunter, I think, and he carries like this weird sort of bony coffin on his back that shoots. It's like a bazooka. It's sort of Devil May Cry, and there are unlockable characters who you control. One of them who wields like this sort of guitar that he fires electricity out of. So it sounds brilliant in my book. Actually, I'm running through these pretty quick. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too much longer, which probably will. That's, kiss of death, if I say that. Just a random charity shop purchase. It wasn't really one I could pass up. It's a duplicate, so I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with it. But it's Parasite Eve 2. I saw it in a charity shop. It was only £2, so it was. Maybe if there's anyone out there who want to take it off my hands, I don't know. It's a good game because I can remember when I mentioned it in my PS1 collection videos that a lot of people said it was a good game. So I thought maybe it's a good one to pass on to people, rather than just keeping it for myself. It's not that expensive actually on eBay, so there's no great reason to sell it on or anything for profit. A little tip actually, when it comes to getting games for cases, you get the sort of like there, you get the top edge like that, and always run your fingers along that bit there, like this, because you can see that it comes away like that. That it's always difficult to see that crack there. It runs a crack that runs along there like that. It's always difficult to see, but you often get cracks there. So when I'm getting games for cases, there's always a certain few tests to run, and that's what I do because I'm a bit obsessive. But there you go. It's Parasite Eve 2. Right, another charity shop purchase. One I've always wanted to play. It's a 360 game. They had a selection in this particular charity shop, but I only wanted this one. I only went with this one. There's a few I could have had, and there's only 125. It's Call of Duty World at War because I've really been enjoying Call of Duty 2. I've been playing recently, and I know this has got the zombie Nazis mode. So, and I heard this is supposed to be pretty good. And like I said, there's a whole swathe of 360 games I've never played, and I've been buying more 360 games. And there's a lot more in this batch than I've bought in recent months. But these next three all came from Game, which is a bit rare for me. I'll never buy anything from Game. Two of them in particular, games I've been looking out for in CX because they're pretty cheap and they've been pretty high up on my list, my 360 list. But I've just been sort of, for some reason, I've not gone with it, and I've been tempted to use some of the credit that I've built up, but decided not to. Decided to keep it for Twilight Princess for whenever a version pops up locally. But I saw these in Game. And they were all in the 3 for 2. There was the third one I had to sort of hunt around for something to go with them, but I think this one works out as really good value. The two that I've been looking out for in CX were Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen and Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition. So this was $7.99, $6.99. I think this is £8 in CX and this is £6 in CX, so it works out as more expensive, but with the extra it works out cheaper. They're both like Game of the Year editions of, obviously this one is, so is this one as well, Game of the Year editions of their respective games, and both games I really wanted to play, and this one was the third one. It's the complete edition of Grand Theft Auto 4, which I've never played. it's a little bit battered inside. We sort of expect that from Grand Theft Auto games because you know they're going to get a lot of play. Like the discs are a little bit scratched, but not so bad. But at the same time, you have to expect it because, like I said, these are sorts of games that you know are going to just get played into the ground. Whereas I think being an RPG fan, it's beneficial in that sense because a lot of RPGs you'll find when you see them, they'll be not bad nick because just for the nature of the game, and I don't know, maybe it's the nature of the people that play them. That's not an insult to anybody who likes the games like this, but that they're a bit sloppy with their possessions. But yeah, it's a sort of game I've always wanted. You sort of have to play, really. You know, they're not sorts of games that I would necessarily gravitate towards over other games, but they're essentials. So they're not games I want to miss out on. So, you know. Although actually I've not played number 5. I've not played number 5, but I'm expecting to like that more. Don't know, just the characters in this just look a bit gruff for some reason. Don't know why. But it was weird when I was in game buying them. The people behind the counter were having a proper bad day of it. They were really miserable. I was only me and this other kid in the shop, but for some reason the manager was just being a right bitch. He was going. He was bitching about it. He goes, "Oh, I really wish I was back in the East Midlands." Obviously, he's from the East Midlands. He's just been, "Oh, I bloody hate this place." For some reason, it's North London. It was a game in Wood Green, and then his employee was going, "Yeah, it's a lot better in the Kingston branch. I wish I was back in the Kingston branch." And they had a bit of an argument about, apparently the Kingston branch makes 8 times the money that the Wood Green branch does, which is a surprise, but it is a shit branch, the Wood Green one. But then they're also having a general bad mood because then the manager went and booted out the kid who was playing FIFA on the PS4 on the wall. You know, he'd had enough. He just went and chucked him out. He went, "No more, no more. Go and tell him to leave." And apparently the kid was really mouthy when he told him to leave. But, you know. Just a bad day all round. Right, this one was a CEX purchase. Was pretty high up on my PS2 list at the time, and it appeared in a branch of CEX, and I think their price was pretty cheap. I've got my done with it. It's one of these actually. One of these. I think it's the first one. Yeah, that's the case. There you go. Read that. That's what it is. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. There you go. I don't know why I didn't show you that. Yes, it's now in a replacement case. It's just a sort of a best of collection of Neo Geo fighters all fighting each other, right? But yeah, it's only a £5 in CX. It's pretty high up on my list, and at the time, the branch it was the only copy in the UK in CX branches. So, and it was a local branch. So. That was just a straight up cash purchase. But yeah, obviously, I think actually on eBay, I think it's a bit more than that, probably about a tenner. So I thought it was worth it, and it was a game I wanted. Another game I wanted. I know people. I'm just way behind the times, like most 360 games. This is a 360 game, bit of a hint. A lot of people talk about it. I know a lot of people on YouTube have played it and are still playing it. I'm way behind the times. It's Minecraft. This came with. Which this came with? This came with the Bombay Bicycle Club CD to go beyond the magic £10, so I didn't have to pay for their fucking postage. Amazon. And this was only £8.86. I thought it was pretty good because you'll probably pay about £20 in game, and they can stick it, or maybe not. Yeah, around about £20 or maybe 18 or something like that. But always want to play it. I know my sister's boyfriend's daughter plays it. She was showing me on her tablet, but she said it was like an edited version. But I know, yeah, it's always people love this game. People rave about it, and it's difficult to ignore. And I know I'm going to love it. And I know when people like Evo Haler and and the Highlander play it. So I thought, if they like it, then I don't think you can go really wrong, can you? But next two, I got a bit lucky on sorry, leaning out shot. Got a bit lucky on That's Entertainment. That's Entertainment recently, I've noticed, have sort of changed their pricing policy. They've taken their PSP, original Xbox and PS2 games, and they were quite uniform, the prices. They were generally around about $1.99, maybe a few games were a bit more than that. But now they're not standardised prices anymore. They're more specific, which is unfortunate which means prices have gone up. But I always check it. I always just random searches. Most of the time, it will say no results, no results, no results. Every so often, it will throw up results, and it's always like, oh shit, and you have to sort of jump on it. And then, if it's the right price, because these two are both $1.99, which is a good price for them. Basically, pay that $1.99 and hope it turns up, because there's always a little doubt in your mind with That's Entertainment that's going to turn up. The first one, it's actually a game I've already got, Stubbs the Zombie, $1.99. I did a Stubbs the Zombie search, and the results came up, Stubbs the Zombie. So I thought, right, it's a game I did have actually, but I didn't have the manual. So, and that was one of the few games where I didn't have it. It was incomplete. I've got, so it's always bugged me. So I've always been on the lookout for an extra manual, and this was the first likely candidate in about a few years that and luckily I was able to nab it. It turned up, and it's actually brilliant, Nick. All bar, totally my fault. Disc's lovely, case is lovely, the front cover's lovely. It was a game. It was a game from Game. Obviously, it'd gone through Game at some point because it had the Game stickers on it. And I don't know if you'll be able to see there. Look, there's outline sticker residue, and that little white dot there, that was me being too hasty and peeling the sticker off. And that little, you think that's a tiny little rip on a white. If this was white, that wouldn't show up. It's a tiny little rip on a black background, a little white rip on a black background. That shows up, and every time I open it up, it winks at me and goes, "Aye, aye," and I can see it. It's the first thing I see is that it's not perfect in well. Obsessive? No, but it's probably made worse the fact that it was me who did it. Just you think, oh, you knob. It was perfect, or almost perfect, and now it's not quite. But that every time I'm going to open it up, I'm going to go, oh, you bastard, like that. That's how I'm going to go. But I ain't getting another one. It's not that bad, but I'm pretty mental, except that I'm a bit bonkers. But great game, though. Brilliant game. This one is probably the even better than that. This totally unexpected, never expected to see anything like that. Again, like do random searches. I always do random searches for good series of games. I'll do a random search for Castlevania and hoping something good will turn up. Or Kirby, just put in Kirby, hopefully something will turn up. Or this one was Dragon Quest, and it's definitely a game on my list. I've got all the PAL releases of the Dragon Quest games, actually, apart from the Monsters games. But this one is one that I'd seen in a few videos. I know it was on Metal Jesus Rocks Hidden Gems for DS. It's a Dragon Quest game. It's a US only. It's Dragon Quest Monsters Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime. This was a game I saw in a local game shop in Wood Green called Game Zone. Didn't really know much about it. Saw it on the shelf, and it was a bit too expensive to take a punt on, so I left it. Went home, researched it. I thought, that looks good. Realised that the price was good as well, and then it wasn't there when I went back. So just been keeping an eye out for it ever since. Did a random search on That's Entertainment. It popped up. It didn't have a little thumbnail. It's just the sort of the outline of thumbnail. But it said Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket, and then obviously click on the link and it says Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime. But I thought I'll have that. I'll take the punt. It was only £2. It's worth the punt, even if he doesn't turn up. It's worth a bit of a gamble, and it's all in brilliant nick. So the only slightly iffy thing is the sticker on the label on the cart isn't quite centralised. I've got a really annoyingly critical eye when it comes to those things, centralised stickers. But it's supposed to be really good. It's not a game I know too much about. It's stylus control. You control Slime. I forgot what his name is. Slime? I think it's Rocket. That's it, his name's Rocket. And you have to sort of rescue your friends from some weird platypus monster king thing. But until stylus controls, and he's sort of like a little blob, and you can, it's supposed to be really good, and there's a lot of charm in it. But right, these are my last out and about purchases. I was in Walthamstow. I went to get a copy of Twilight Princess, because there was another copy of Twilight Princess. So I mentioned there was a copy of Twilight Princess in Walthamstow CEX I missed out on. Went down there, saw it, still there, brilliant. It was okay. Along the top edge of the sleeve was a bit worn, which not ideal, but it wasn't that worn. I was going to leave it. Took it to the counter. He went to get the game. He came back. I realised it didn't have a manual, so I left it. And in a way, I was sort of slightly. It was okay, because it meant that I wasn't really going to end up with a slightly iffy copy, because a copy that I would have been a bit picky about, that sort of the wear along the top of the sleeve. You don't really want, especially for a game as expensive as Twilight Princess, even though I was paying for it with credit. But so I was a little bit pissed off that I missed out again. I went for, actually, I think somebody bought it a few days after I left it, and then it appeared again. I reckon it was the same copy, sort of being bought and then rejected, and bought and then rejected, and bought and then sent back, because I don't know, because it was missing manuals and stuff, and the sleeve wasn't brilliant. But I was a little bit pissed off. Did my normal route through Walthamstow, which always ends in cash converters at the bottom. Sorry. Ends in cash converters at the bottom. It's gone weird now. There's no shop floor now. It's all just, you step into the shop and it's basically just a little room with desks, and the whole of the main area of the shop is all storage. They've got like display windows outside, so you can see on the display windows, and they've got a few display cabinets, but there's nowhere to look. There's no shelves to look at in the shop, so it's really weird. But I could see. Someone's going to walk past my window. Someone's delivered a newspaper. Don't look at me. Don't watch me talking to myself like a mental. They had some display cabinets. So I looked at the display cabinets. They had two GBOSPs, and I thought, hang on, they could be 101s, AGS 101s. I'll just queue up to ask them, because there was no spare counters, no spare tills. It was a relatively busy small shop. So I had to wait, and I was waiting, and I was waiting for a long time, and eventually I got seen, and I said, can I have a look at those two Game Boys in behind the counter? Yeah, okay. And she went to get them and realised they were 001s, they weren't 101s, so I left them, and they weren't in very good nick anyway. But then there were two GBA games in the display case. So I think, can I have a look at those actually while you're there? And so she brought them out as well. And I said, how much are they? And she went, £1.99. Oh, £1.99, so I have those. And I didn't have any cash on me. I thought I didn't have any cash. So sorry, I don't have any cash. You've got a minimum car payments? She went, yeah, I've got £5. So I'm going to have to get some cash. So I went to get some cash, but then on the way down there, patted my pocket, realised I did have cash, like a knob. Went all the way back. So I realised I did have cash. Apologised. And in the end, I felt a bit of a twat and just wanted to get out of there, paid for the games, and then left. And then thought, hang on, I haven't checked these games. I haven't checked to see if they're duds. I think one of them is a dud. Too hasty, too hasty. This one's not a dud, pretty certain. It's Minish Cap, Zelda Minish Cap. Again, this is a duplicate, but my one got a bit sun faded because, like a twat, I left it exposed. So it's a little bit. The green turns blue, turns light blue. It's always green that goes first. I've noticed. This is a lot better nick. Although that version, my version upstairs, has my game save on it. There's a good few hours on it, so I don't really want to. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. I just want a nicer copy, but that's got my game save on it. I might as well have to play it through and then finish it and then sell it on, so then keep this one. But yeah, sorry, £1.99. So £1.99. So bargain. That was a bargain in itself. And when I do sell it on the other one, that will pay for both of these. So it's not much of a boob. This is the boob Pokemon Leaf Green version. Paid for it and left. Didn't really think. Thought. Got down the road. Thought shit. Didn't check. Checked. I thought, hang on, this looks a bit suspicious. I could have gone back, but I felt a bit of a knob because I've been sort of farting around generally in that shop, wasting their time. So I was just going to suck it up and put it down to experience. I tell you what, if this is a fake, it's a good fake. I don't know about the colour of the case. Rattles slightly. I tell you what makes me think it's a fake. Always the first thing I look for. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Again, what I mentioned earlier, the label isn't perfectly centralised. I think if there's sort of like a parallel gap all the way around the outside of the label, you think that's a good chance that it's legit. What else makes me think it's a bit dodgy? I say it's a good fake because it's got all the stuff that you look for to sort of think this is legitimate. So whoever's faking these is getting wise. But I think the little imprinted number there is just 34A. You're not going to see it? Yeah, 34A. I'm not going to see it, but they're normally really faint. The one on this one is really pronounced. It's really easy to see. It's quite a definite indentation, which makes me think, it's a little bit iffy. And it's got on the inside it's got Nintendo on it, but it's Nintendo. I think generally they just have the word Nintendo. This one has Nintendo with sort of the border, which I don't think they generally have. I'm not sure. So I've looked it up on Google, just looked at some images of legitimate copies and tried to compare. Generally the details are okay, but it's just a bit off. On eBay, there's people selling ones that look exactly like this, slightly more centralised labels, but they've opened them up. What they've done on eBay, they've opened them up to show people, that there's Nintendo printed on the circuit board, but it's like that. It's got the one on eBay has got the border around the outside, which I didn't think they have. What I'm trying to do, generally, I'm trying to convince myself this is legit, but it's not, is it? There's no way it's legit. There's too many fakes out there. But it'd be nice if it was, but and it rattles. That makes me suspicious, but shit, this is a long video. This ain't going to give me more than an hour, but I've still got 3 more to go. Right. This is the what was it? The iffy. There you go. The game that came in the iffy case that's supposed to be brand new on Amazon. It's Amazon Marketplace. There you go. It came in this case. Amazon Marketplace is a game that's right at the top of my PS2 list. Not an expensive game, but two appeared on eBay at almost at the same time, just a few hours apart. One of them was sealed, and I put on a sort of a low competitive bid on it, and I got outbid. Eventually, I was outbid easily, but for a long time, I was the highest bidder. But and there was another one. There was an unsealed one that I put a bid on as well, because that was it was the sealed one was never going to be, and it was never going to stay sealed. So I thought, might as well. I'm going to get outbid on that one, so I might as well bid on the unsealed one as well. So at one point, I had two bids on two copies of this game. Eventually, lost out on both of them. The unsealed one, I lost out by 50p. And I thought, oh, sod it, I might as well go and buy the one on eBay because that works out sort of about the same price. I just after a bit of a bargain because they're shouldn't be that expensive. I ended up paying £8.57, which is including postage. It was £6.54 plus £2.3 postage for what the seller was telling me was, or in the blurb, was new sealed. I'd actually asked for a bit of confirmation, but never got any response, which I should have taken that as a sign. But I didn't, like a knob. In the end, I got frustrated having lost out on both copies, and in the end, I went to Amazon and bought the one that was there for £6.54 plus £2.3 postage, and it's Saint Seiya the Sanctuary. I've got the second game, which is Saint Seiya the Hades, which is more common. This is less common. It's not uncommon at all. There's always copies on eBay for around about sort of 12 something quid, but they don't often sell. Yeah, so I went with them on Amazon. It turned up in this case. It turned up with shrink wrap around it, which obviously wasn't an official seal, which I was a bit pissed off about. I contacted the seller. I was really respectful about it, without being narky. I didn't want to put him offside. I wanted him to be, if he started getting a bit defensive, then I might have been a bit narkier. But he wasn't. He said he was understanding. I laid out my case in sort of respectful language, and in the end he got back to me and said, "Yeah, I'll offer you a discount," because I was only asking for a discount, and he offered me 25% discount. So in the end, I got it for just under £7, like £6.93 or something. I got about £1.60 discount or refund on this, which works out less than what I would have paid for the copy I bid on eBay. But yeah, it's a one-on-one fighter. They're both one-on-one fighters. It's I love Saint Seiya the anime. Not an anime that ever made it to these shores really, but I love it. It's so cheesy. It's sort of like late 80s, early 90s. All the characters in it look like they're out of Bon Jovi. It's based around Signs of the Zodiac, I think, and like sort of Greek mythology, and there's all these characters dwelling in after. There's also, I don't know. She's Athena, the goddess Athena, and there's all these characters here. You have to protect her on this side, and you have to fight the gold saints with their gold cloth. But yeah, and then the Hades is the second series, and there's a game that coincides with the second series where you had to fight Hades and all his minions. But that series I watched is the only anime I've watched from start to finish. Is the second, the Hades, Saint Seiya the Hades. Sat and watched it from start to finish, just captivated. It's cheesy as fuck, but it's such just really, really good fun. But yeah, it's one-on-one fighter, sort of a 3D one-on-one fighter, with all these sort of little extra bits in it, with sort of extra melee sort of sections. But it's one that I wanted just to round off, and I do have a lot of time for the first game, even though it's a bit, they're not brilliant. They won't appeal to aficionados of fighters. I don't think. You go, what the hell is this? They do appeal to me because I love the anime, and they do stick really closely to the anime, which is a good thing. And it's got the intros and stuff, and all the music. There's a lot of the music sort of 90s sort of J-rock and stuff like that. Really corny, cheesy J-rock, but I love it. Brilliant. Right, one and only eBay purchase. This popped up. I was just sitting browsing, just monging like you do. You're just watching, the internet pass before my eyes, just not paying any attention to anything. Flicking between websites, went on eBay and on their homepage with all the recommended new sales based on your past searches popping up. a game again, another game relatively high up on my PS1 list popped up for a good price, and I thought, shit, got a bit tense because in those situations, things can go in minutes, which isn't a good way to be. But that's the situation, the atmosphere they've engendered, really, isn't it? The way they do things, they get people competitive about their listings. So you tend to, in this instance, I was less discriminating about what I was buying. But in the end, it worked out okay because it was a good seller. It was a good seller, and the actual object is good. But I probably should have perused the listing a bit more and the picture. Well, there's 3 pictures, and they all look pretty good. It's Vigilante 8 Second Defence. So I've got the first game, which I really enjoy. It's basically like a car battling game, like Twisted Metal and Carmageddon and all those. But it's a relatively expensive game. The first one's not that expensive. When I say expensive, it's probably 10, 12 to 17 round about there. So you can pay a bit. This appeared, buy it now, free postage for $8.99. And it's in really nice nick, and it turned up really nice nick. The seller had even put 2 bits of cardboard inside the jiffy bag, which I appreciated. So they got good feedback. The only downside, again, I'm not going to blame the seller because it's a difficult thing to spot. The case is slightly cracked there, so it's coming away. And like I said, it's a difficult thing to spot, but this is in really nice nick, so I'm happy. And I've got all those replacement cases. And like I said, this was high up on my list. So now I wanted to do this pickups video now, so that I can put this in with the V's, which is the next episode of my PS1 collection videos. So there you go. That's me. I'm sure there's stories. Actually, no, this isn't just me. I've got one more. There are stories, but I can't remember them. I didn't write them down. Bollocks. I've got shitloads of videos to do as well. Loads more videos. Loads of tag responses. Tags have had a resurgence, which is brilliant. Tags had died off, didn't they? But they've come back with a vengeance, which is great. They were big news when I first started, back nearly 5 years ago. But about 5 years ago, probably about my 5th anniversary, almost. Shit, I've aged. Fresh-faced youth. Fresh-faced 32-year-old youth. Back then I was. My prize for Steve's redraw 4444 competition turned up. This is the prize. I went off a bit half-cocked to that last video about what I thought was a prize. It wasn't a prize. This is the prize. So it's arrived, Steve. Sorry, I should have let you know. But it's arrived and it's brilliant, mate. Appreciate it. Like I said, anyone else go and check Steve's channel out because he's like the Englishman in Japan, and he finds brilliant stuff. So yeah, he sent me Final Fight Guy. This was the prize, Final Fight Guy for the Super Famicom, and somehow I won. But so yeah, thanks, Steve, and it's arrived. Oh, there you go. This is a long one with that interruption to get a drink. It's longer than it's probably about 55 minutes now. Bollocks. This is going to take years to upload, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go and watch football later because I'm going to watch Liverpool get beaten by Bolton, which is going to make me happy. Thanks for watching. See you later. And thanks to any new subs I've had. I don't get many, but I think I might have had 1 or 2 without getting notification. And if that's the case, and I've not thanked you personally, then this is me doing that now. So thanks a lot to any new subs I might have had. Which maybe, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you later.